Hang on. Okay. So I think I'll get started, and hopefully, yeah, there's a few more people joining us. Maybe they had the same issue, and people are logging on with us now. But you're all very, very welcome here today. And as I say, welcome to Africa Day. It's a United Nations recognised day, and so obviously it's underpinned by the African Union, and this year the theme is arts, culture and heritage, which Africa is absolutely bursting with, I have to tell you. I'm lucky enough to have been to Ethiopia, and I've been to Malawi as part of this program, and just fell in love with both countries and the people. And then while we were there, these were for annual reviews. I met with my colleagues from Tanzania, Zanzibar, and also Mozambique. So I'm familiar with the people that are working in these countries. So as I say, today we're gonna just go into some of the work that we do. Let me just minimize this. And if you want to mute your microphones, if your questions do come on in. If you've anything to ask, if I can't answer it, I'm sure one of the other people that are on the program today will be able to answer your questions. So as I say, so the reason that we are here today and that we're involved in this is that Irish Aid, who fund the overseas development programs that Ireland support, they have a program grant running from 2017 to 22. It's called the Accountability and Fulfilment of Older Persons to Raise Their Dignity, and that shortens to the Afford 2 program. It's the second phase of this program. So as you can see here, there's been a dramatic increase in the last decade in the number of countries working to expand their social protection, which is what we would refer to as our pension. I don't know if people were here with the webinar we had last week, where we had the beginnings and the effect of our pension. We've had it for over 100 years, and to begin with, it was for the over 70s that hadn't got into the workhouse. So, you know, we're 100 years on from that, but there are some countries that have just started. So this includes the expansion of schemes providing income security for older persons, and so they call it social protection payments, and they're actually universal pension schemes. So we partner with HelpAge International as well as Irish Aid, and their local and international networks as partners in the country offices, and they're currently implementing the 6-year program, and there's a total of, as you can see there, over 4 million euros funded by Irish Aid, and the program takes place in Malawi, Mozambique, Tanzania and Ethiopia. Excuse me. So what this program does is it supports these groups, and I'm just going to say something really quickly on a buzzword in the development sector at the moment, that is localization. So that is when Irish Aid fund HelpAge, who have some offices in these countries in Africa, but they work with local organisations that are already there, that are already working with older people, and that are staffed by local people who are the experts. And it's not a case of Ireland or HelpAge International sending their staff into these countries to deliver these programs. They're delivered by the people from these countries, at a local level. And as I say, this is what localization is now used. There used to be a time where people from the developed world considered themselves to be the experts and would go in and decide what was going to be done. But overseas development has actually changed a lot lately, and that isn't how it works at the moment. So I've got a little presentation on each of the countries. Please bear with me because I've just struggled a bit with technology and haven't been able to put everything that I would like to in all of these. So this is basically what happens in these countries is that an office goes out to the older people in the field, as they called it. They might not be in a field, but they call it they're out in the field. So they go out to the villages, the towns, and they help the older people set up OPAs. We'll come to them afterwards, older people's associations, or in this case, this is an older citizens monitoring group. So they help them to set up organizations, and they train them into setting up groups to represent themselves and to fight for their own rights. So they lobby their local representatives, and they do that at a local level, and then they can do that, it goes on to a national level. They join with other older people's groups in their areas to have a stronger voice. They support each other, and they, as I say, they organise themselves. They support groups to organise themselves so that they can better represent their issues and needs at a higher level. So, as I say, this is an example of an older citizens monitoring group, and they discuss issues of older persons in Adama, and I actually went to Adama, had the most wonderful meeting with the people there. They have a program. I had an Ethiopian coffee ceremony. I don't know if you've ever drunk Ethiopian coffee, but in my mind, it's the best in the world. It's very good in Malawi too, but Ethiopian was very good. They work out the objectives of older people and the situations, and they participate and impact on the advocacy for themselves. The monitoring groups take the lead, and they collect and document the challenges faced so that they have lived experience, and they have proof, they have data. They can say that so many older people of a certain age are living on under $1 a day, or whatever the example is that they're giving, and that supports are necessary for older people to maintain their dignity and to be able to live a dignified life in older age. It's a very effective approach, and it helps the most disadvantaged, because the people that are on the older citizens monitoring groups and the older people's associations, they know the people that are most disadvantaged. They can reach the hard to reach because they're in the villages, and they can make sure that there are some supports put in place. So when we were in Ethiopia, we went to an older people's association in Adama, as I said, and they were supporting so many people. It could be that somebody has work but has a broken bicycle, and they cannot get to the employment that they have because they have no transport. And the older persons association might help somebody to get their bike fixed, or if somebody has a job and their eyesight is failing, they might be able to help them to get glasses. Quite often, an optician might give somebody a consultation and a pair of glasses so that they can continue to earn some sort of salary to be able to keep them going. And it's very surprising how much a small amount of support can do for a person. I haven't got the figures to hand. It's not what I'm going through today, but there could be, when we talk about social protection or pensions, somebody could be getting anything from $5 to $10 a month. So when you think about that in comparison,
That's all I can get on your computer. No more. Won't let you in on mine.
To the amount that we get here in Ireland. But at the same time, that gives somebody, it gives them back dignity. They have something to contribute. They might be living with family. Quite often older people are looking after their grandchildren, and they might be able to access credit if somebody if a vendor knows that they're going to be getting a regular income. So you can't say, that you can't underestimate, that's the word, how important these things are. I've just got a couple of little videos here. I'm trying not to go too much on what the program does and try and keep with some of the arts, culture and heritage. So I've got a couple of, now I do hope these work, bear with me. Now, as I say, just bear with me for a moment. My laptop's a little bit slow. I've got a lot open here today. I need. Yeah, so as I was saying, these groups, the group in Ethiopia, they belong to a national group, IPNA, which is which heightens their voice even more. So they work with other groups all around Ethiopia with regards to supporting older people. Right, let's see how this goes. Now, oh, we're not getting the sound. No, it doesn't seem like we can have, we didn't seem to get sound, and hang on, let's see if it'll play again. No, so that wasn't very successful there. Sorry about that. I'll try one more and we'll see. We'll see if that'll. I don't want it to go into the. So yeah, that was groups meeting up there. Let me just. So we'll try one more. As I say, the Ethiopian Elderly Pensioners National Association is the group that that the HelpAge supported people belong to. Now we'll try one more. Have we got anybody with us from Ethiopia here today?
I'm from Ethiopia. I am a man.
Hello?
Hello,
Who's this?
Aman from Ethiopia, from HelpAge International.
Oh, yes. If you've anything that you'd like to add, I was just going to try and play one more of these. I signed up for fibre broadband, but it doesn't seem to have made a lot of difference here. I'm working from home at the moment, so this is very slow. I don't know if it's gonna work for us. Oh, this was, I don't know. We have International Day of the Older Person. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Positive Aging Week that we celebrate here in Ireland. It's on the 1st of October. Again, it's a United Nations recognised day, and we try and celebrate it. Obviously, since COVID, we did it online, but we don't do it nearly as much as they do in other countries. So I just want to, hopefully this will play, and this is some of the celebrations that they had in Ethiopia, and I think this was actually in 2020. Now let's see if this is going to come up. I think this will be the last one I try, and we'll just go through the rest of the slides there.
Annette,
Yes.
if it is not playing, you can give a man maybe 1 or 2 minutes just to expand on the happiness structures. How many are there? How do they work with the communities and government?
Hang on,
When do they
sorry,
start?
Tapiwa, can you see this?
No, I cannot see the video.
Oh, is it not? It's not sharing?
It's not sharing.
Okay, hang on. Let's try again. And sorry, what were you suggesting there?
To give a man a minute or two just to share his experience working with Fitna and the elderly citizen monitoring groups in Ethiopia.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just see if I can get this one on this time. And okay, can you see that now? Can
Something
anybody?
is coming, but not yet. I can hear some sounds.
Yeah, we got the sound now.
Got the sound,
sound
you've
is
got the
coming.
picture. I think it was a bit ambitious of me.
Give it some seconds, maybe. Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
coming
yes,
now.
yes.
Okay. This, as I say, I think this is a celebration of International Day of the Older Person in Ethiopia in 2020.
That's our man.
Mhm.
Okay, so I just thought that that clip showed some really wonderful cultural moments there. I'm actually wearing an Ethiopian scarf here today. Have you got back the screen of Ethiopia?
Not yet.
Okay, so I'll stop that share and I'll start another one. Share screen. Sorry about this. Is that down there?
No.
PowerPoint. Share. I think we've lost a few people. I don't know. Is there somebody from Ethiopia on the call at the moment? Tapiwa?
Yes, 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 I am here.
Oh, okay. Would you like to talk to us about some of the things that you do in Ethiopia? We'd love to hear it.
Actually, you raised many activities that we are doing under Afford project. Just to add some point on IPNA. IPNA is an umbrella association for more than 1,000 older people association, which found on all over the country. We have about 9 regions and 2 city administrations. IPNA is the main our advocacy wing for HelpAge International, which undertaking this Afford 2 project advocacy wing. So we are closely working with IPNA. We use different events such as older people, IDOP, International Day of Older People. When you see that photographs, there was a minister, there was a country's president. So older people raise their issues on that events and they raise different issues. So we are closely working with IPNA for more than 20 years.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you very much. As I say, there's me there. I was in Addis Ababa myself in 2018, and we have a representative here from the Irish embassy. Ireland have an embassy there, and Irish Ada have a presence. And yeah, so now I'm going to go on to Malawi. So Malawi, all these countries are in East Africa. I haven't actually put up the map. It's something I should have done. Hang on, I meant to do was to go back. These countries are all, I don't know if you can see, they're all around along the east coast of Africa. Ethiopia,
Curious to see
Tanzania, Mozambique, and Malawi are all here. Oh, sorry. I've got something coming on here that shouldn't be here. I have to stop. That isn't music. I think it's something from Facebook that's... Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to. I'm so sorry about that. Now. Just coming back to share the screen again. As I was saying, I was also in Malawi. We were in a place, it was called Lilongwe, and we
It's the capital.
we were lucky enough to go out to a village called Balaka. And meet with the people there in Malawi as the groups that they, one of the older people's associations. I'm just trying to share my PowerPoint again. Now, let's see if it'll. So in Malawi, the program it works with the group called MANEPO. So it's the Malawi Network of Older Persons Organisations. As I say, it's part of localisation. This is a group that already exists in Malawi, and it's the umbrella body for over 60 civil society organisations, and they implement various programs, and they promote and protect the rights of older men and women. And again, they help them claim their rights. The program is the same throughout the 4 countries. They help them to claim their rights, challenge discrimination, and overcome poverty so that they can lead dignified, secure, active, and healthy lives. This is a lovely picture here. These are ladies in their amazing chichenje. I don't know if I've pronounced it right, but they wear these beautiful coloured, it's like waxed cotton wraps, and they come in such bright and colourful, but it's very traditional, and you wouldn't go to a meeting without it. And you know, you have your dresses and your things underneath, but the wrap is very culturally appropriate. So this was the OPA meeting that we had in Balaka, and they have a little a village. It's almost like a little town hall, and we were welcomed there, and we had a lovely morning, and they explained what it is that they're doing. They run these things themselves. The older people, they're trained so that 1 or 2 people from each village are able to do the monitoring and to organise these things. And we had a few testimonials here while we were here of people, and there was a lady in, I think she was looking after 5 of her grandchildren, and she said that the support that she had through this program was the only thing that was getting her through life, you know, that she really wouldn't have been able to manage. And because if you support an older person, more often the children that they might be supporting will have better nutrition, they'll be able to go to school, and they will in turn be able to support the older person.
But if they're not going out for a walk, I would put on
this is a lovely picture that we have here. Sorry, there's somebody on the phone. We can hear your call there. This is a lovely picture that we had when we were. So this is the team of us that were in Blantyre for the review, and we're all there. I was kind of hidden behind somebody there. So this is Malawi. And what we're doing at the moment, we're just putting together some case studies. The people in working in Africa are helping us, and they're interviewing and writing up little things about individuals who've been supported by the Afford 2 program. So this is Bertha. Bertha's 73. And just to raise a point, quite often, if you are getting any sort of support, it doesn't come into play until you're over 70. Most social protection payments don't start until you reach the age of 70. So this is Bertha. She's 73 and she's a widow. So she's raised 3 children without her husband, and her grandchildren, her grandchild helps her out. And it's difficult for her to work, so she can't even farm her own land. Whereas if you can do a bit of farming, at least you have, you know, you can produce your own food. And she used to produce food and she would go to the market and sell it, but she's not able to do that. And she says that's due to her old age and fear. She had troubles this year because heavy rain and worms destroyed any of the planting that she had managed to get going on her farm. So with help from Manepo and support from Irish Aid, she says she's grateful for making sure that people are well taken care of. So they've been very helpful in cases of natural disaster and abuse and discrimination. They advise people what to do in these circumstances and support them. Excuse me. So she says that the organisation has been there for them when they're being ill-treated because of old age, because there's a lot of age discrimination going on, and they've been trained on that to identify their rights and to claim them and to realise that they are entitled to them. So, and then they get training on how they can improve their own living standards. Obviously, the pandemic has hit Africa as well as it has here in Ireland, and they were living in fear and believing all the rumours. There's a lot more rumours go around than there are, and they haven't got access to good information the same way that we might. Often in the villages, they might have a mobile phone, but very unlikely to have internet access. And, you know, even here in Ireland, we've had a lot of fake news and rumours going around. So Manepo were funded through Irish Aid and HelpAge. It was one of the things that they jumped into to provide awareness campaigns, and they educated older people about the virus, how it can be transmitted, preventing it. And then they were provided with masks. You know, we take that type of thing for granted, but if they're not available and you haven't got any money to buy them, then, you know, it's very difficult to get them. So they also help them to possibly look at income generation to earn a living. So it's really a kind of a one-stop shop for older people. So this is moving on to Mozambique. These are some of the activities implemented by HelpAge International and the partners. They were one of the first respondents that appealing from with regards. This is just directly COVID-19 related. It was a piece of work that was sent over to me. So they very quickly responded and implemented engagement with the health authorities and a communication strategy. They wanted to review the strategy because it discriminated against older people, and it instituted, very much like it did in Ireland, it recommended home isolation for older people. So they actually worked on making a more age-friendly strategy and put out information on posters and made sure that older people could engage with that. They engaged with the health authorities, and then they linked in with the structures that are already in place and the activists and the community leaders in order to disseminate the information. And they provided a lot of PPE, the masks and other things. So one of the things that in Mozambique, they work with 3 other partners in various provinces to implement the general program of supporting older people. And this is a man here. It said in the notes that he's making a musical instrument. So that was, I just thought I'd show you that picture there. So this was some of the work that Mozambique were doing. They were sharing information. So they had a rapid needs assessment for older people, and they went out to the 4 provinces where the Afford program is represented, and they shared they put forums together and they shared the information that they had. So I think this is a picture of a visit by HelpAge with the Ministry of Health and Gender, Child and Social Action for Older People. And they, as I say, they gave out information and PPE. And then there were residents that were confined in care homes, older people care homes, without any contact to the outside world due to the guidelines that were issued. So it was very similar to what was going on here. Older people were very much isolated and not taken into consideration in some of the measures that were implemented. So this is ladies dancing. I have a lovely video, but I don't think I'm going to be able to play it. But there's great music, there's great dancing, and this is an event where people were being given information. And I was just thinking of us either queuing up to get our vaccine or at the doctors getting tested, this type of thing. If we were all to start dancing and singing, it would be quite a spectacle, I think. But it's actually something that is an everyday occurrence. There's a song for every occasion, and older people keep the culture and the heritage alive by singing and dancing at just about every occasion, as I say. So there was provision to 2,000 older people masks and disinfectants, even fresh water and soap for hand washing, which again I say is something we all take for granted. There were door-to-door campaigns, and there was advocacy for the implementation of the humanitarian response, and there were outreach teams funded by Irish Aid going out into the villages to do this work. So Tanzania, is Tapiwa still with us?
Yes, I'm around.
Can you see this? Can you see this presentation, people?
Yes, I'm seeing the pictures.
Oh, you are? Okay. All right. I wasn't sure. I've kind of lost some of my control here. So in Tanzania, the international country office is there, and they carry out the same programs. Kiwotua. I haven't been to Tanzania, so I'm not as familiar with that as I am with the other 2 countries that are there. So do you have anything that you can add here for me, Tapiwa?
Yes, I can add a bit. In Tanzania, as you are saying, it's also through the same mechanisms like other countries, Ethiopia and Mozambique. But in Tanzania, the program is working with 2 local organizations. One is the Kyoto, which is in the mainland, and another one called Juwaza is in Tanzania, in Zanzibar. So basically, They are working with the older persons associations in the villages and try to capacitate them through training, sharing
Oh, I've lost you there.
information so that they can advocate for improvement of their lives and welfare with for government. Sorry. Can you know? Hello?
Yeah. Hello, yeah, you're fading in and out there. So Zanzibar is one of has launched a universal social protection scheme, haven't they, Tapiwa?
Yes, that's right. For all who are 70 years and above, they are receiving on a monthly basis an equivalent of $11 per month per person. This is funded by the government, but the Irish Aid funded program support government in terms of improving the program, like there was support to purchase equipment so that the system is digital. Now the system is digital and everything is online through the support of the Irish Aid.
Yeah, that's it. And Irish Aid were instrumental in the program being implemented as well. They supported the people in Zanzibar to advocate for this. So you know, things are moving slowly, but they are moving. So now let's see if this one, I managed to embed this a bit better. Here we go. So I think that is just beautiful. This is a gathering of older people coming together and they end up dancing. I think it's great. So, oops. And this one, I don't know if you've been involved in this, Tapiwa, but I'd love to see this at some of our older people's network meetings ourselves. So I think that's great. Were you there, Tapiwa? Were you on either of those teams? Was it your team that won? I have this slideshow no, I don't think it's going to work. I have so many pictures, but we're going to, I'm going to put up links to a lot of these things on, sorry, on the website. So, as I say, these are the meetings. So that brings us through to Ireland. What has Ireland got to do with this? So the Ageing and Development Programme that we run at Age Action, it works to raise awareness of the issues facing older people in developing countries. So I'm just going to go to the next slide there, because these are the issues for older people in developing countries. They've got income insecurity, so lack of pensions and social protection support. There's lack of access to age-appropriate health services, and there's age discrimination and lack of consideration to older people in policies. Just wondering, does that sound very familiar? Because these are exactly the things that Age Action are working on in our own policy and advocacy section. So the issues are very similar. As I say, there are things that are very different, such as the level of income support that's provided, but basically it's the same. for older people in developing countries. So what we do, we aim to increase public understanding of global ageing issues and then raise awareness of the role of Ireland's overseas development through Irish aid in assessing these challenges, addressing these challenges. So we work to build public solidarity with older people in developing countries by giving them a voice to share their own stories. And then we work by building on Age Action's track record of public engagement and advocacy through engaging campaigns, outreach, traditional and new media. So while our partners are working in Africa to promote and protect the rights of older people, we are trying to bring the attention of the Irish public to that work. So we do that at the moment. We would normally be out and about in Ireland. We have this display and we have a presentation that we can give to groups, but obviously in the last 15, 16 months we haven't been able to do that. We raise people's awareness of the sustainable development goals, and we try and make sure that they realise that they're not just for developing countries, but they're for Ireland too. And we try to, as I say, it's a public engagement piece where we're trying to make the work that Irish aid are funding overseas relatable to people here in Ireland. And we particularly focus on working with older people because that would be our target audience. So as soon as we can get out and about, for now, we're going to be putting a series of case studies onto our website, our social media platforms. We're going to be using those. And as I say, we just decided today that we would put something together to celebrate Africa Day 2021. So I don't know how I can, this won't let me stop sharing. Oh. Has anybody got any other questions? Hello? Kapiwa, is there anything that you would like to add?
Thank you so much, Annette, for the presentation and also highlighting the AFFORD program, which is funded by Irish Aid, and also the topic for the day, Africa Day, which is celebrated through art, culture, and heritage. And we have indicated that there are a lot of similarities and also some differences. So in terms of the difference, I think that's where we would like to thank the Irish public through their government in terms of bringing this program to Africa. Because I was in Ireland in 2018 and also 2019, and I was so fascinated by the way the pension developed from 1912 up to date. And for Africa, most countries that are like, we are in 1920.
Yeah.
We are talking of pensions which are around $10 per year, per month, which for somebody in Ireland looks like ridiculous, the amount, but that amount makes a difference in Africa. That amount brings dignity to other person. That amount has repercussions in terms of the family, how it develops. So I just want to say thank you so much for connecting us to the Irish public. Thank you so much for sharing information on this program to the Irish public so that they can understand and also lobby their government for the work, sterling work they are doing in Africa and other continents of the world. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much. Annette, and the members who are in this webinar.
Okay, would anybody else like to make any comments here or ask any questions?
Yes, yes.
Thank you,
I would.
Sheila.
Good morning, Annette, and thank you very much for that presentation. It brings back a lot of memories of my time working in East Africa. I'm just wondering, to what extent does Age Action link with Trócaire and Irish Aid? The Irish Aid and Trócaire are the two big funding agencies throughout the world, but we're focusing now on East Africa. And does Age Action connect with Trócaire as well, so that we're not overlapping?
Yes, we do. And the reason that HelpAge International deliver this program is that Trócaire don't specifically target older people. They're part of their general work, but this program was specifically looking for a specialist organisation that were experts in the pensions, and HelpAge pensions and social protection. HelpAge can really provide that. It's something that they focus on, and they already have the networks in the countries to deliver this work. So we do work. We're all members of DOCUS, which is the Irish Overseas Development Programme networking group, and we work together on policy issues and public engagement with them there. As I say, the Irish government just wanted to be able to specifically target older people, and so it was important for them. And because Ireland didn't have an overseas development agency doing that, they engaged HelpAge and Age Action work as a partner in order to fulfil the Irish Older People's Organisation here in Ireland. So that's how that works out. But we do work closely there, Sheila. Yes, yeah, we try not.
Thanks very much. That puts a frame around it, and so wise to piggyback on the HelpAge to get focus on the program. And working together.
Yeah, they're very professional, and as I say, they already have the localization, which I was talking about to begin with. They have that in the countries already, so it wasn't about reinventing the wheel there. Would anybody else like to ask a question or make a comment? Sorry. I just wondered how people would feel if our monthly payment was, well, it's could be, you know, maybe 10 or 11 US dollars. So, you know, we're talking about 8 or 9 euros a month as a pension. Now, obviously, there are things, you know, the cost of living might be less there in these countries, but at the same time, it's still, you know, relatively, you know, it doesn't work out. The presentation and the workshop that we hold goes through these things, and it really raises awareness of the difficulties that older people in developing countries are up against, you know. And we experience ageism here in Ireland. It's one of the isms that is almost invisible, which is how sometimes older people tell you that they feel. But you know, you can talk to people both here and in Africa, and they say that sometimes they start to feel that they're a burden on their community, or they're made to feel that they're not valuable and that they're not contributing. And we know that this is an important thing for dignity and for well-being, to feel engaged in your community and your society, and to feel that you are still contributing. And that your contribution is valued. So that, as I say, that's something that that is part of the training in Africa for older people to recognize their value and to be able to make their voice heard. And as I say, you know, this program, it's really about empowerment. The Irish government doesn't fund the pensions. They don't fund the supports apart from the training, the mobilisation and the empowerment of older people to do these things for themselves. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, there's been they've been able to use funds to help older people look after themselves and, as I say, disseminate the information. So now, would anybody like to have the last word? Okay, well then that'll be me. So I'll just say enjoy the rest of Africa Day and keep an eye on our website, and we'll keep you informed of the other events that we're going to be holding regarding the Irish Aid funded programs. Okay, well thanks ever so much, Tapiwa. Thank you so much for all your help. And I apologise for my technical issues. I need to get a new faster laptop and I need to do something about my broadband, but it was the best that I could do today. So, and thanks to all the people in Ethiopia, Malawi, Mozambique and Tanzania for providing me with the fabulous videos and photographs and stories that could try to bring today to life. Okay, well, thank you very much, and hopefully see you all again very soon. And thanks for joining us, Tapiwa, guest of honor.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
It's my pleasure.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.